tips and tricks for working with and maximizing your belief strength, starting with communication. So I say this in every video that it is important to be able to communicate things when it comes to your strength, right? For you, it's super important to be able to communicate not only what it is that you hold as a value or a purpose or a belief, but also that you can actually communicate about your belief strength. So, like being able to explain to people what belief as a strength looks like so that they can better understand you and better interact with you. I say that this is really important for you in particular with belief and for a couple of other strengths that are more in maybe the kind of feelings or relationship building realm, is that some people who are more research or data driven or analytical, they are going to maybe struggle with your innate knowing, which is kind of how belief can come up for you sometimes. And likely they're going to need to know why. They're going to need to know why you think that, why you believe that, why. And so for you, when it comes to communication, when it comes to your personal well-being, it's important to decide who is worth determining that why for and who is just kind of looking to debate. Some people are just looking to debate. And if you don't want to debate, then I wouldn't entertain that conversation. But some people are genuinely trying to understand. And so it's up to you to decide if you want to kind of dig into that value or that belief and be able to explain it to other people. In the same breath, I will say that it's not actually always important for you personally to understand the underlying why of the things that you believe, of your values, of your purpose, etc. Especially when it comes to like your personal values, your personal purpose, your personal beliefs. But sometimes it is important to know the why. And I would say work environments are kind of where that would be most important, because in a work environment, you're likely working toward a goal and there's kind of a path to get to that goal. And others might need a little bit more behind why is that the goal? Why is that the path that we're choosing to take? Why are these tasks important? Right? Whereas in your head, you might be able to just be like, I just know it is. It just is. Like, I believe it's important. I understand. This can show up for a couple of other strengths like that as well. And so I say the same thing to them. But for you, there are certain situations, particularly in a professional environment, where you are going to need to have a little bit more context besides like, I just know and we're just doing it. Like, I believe in it, right? You're going to need a little more information for that. So when it comes to communication, for you, sometimes it is just the rah. It is the expressing your feeling around the belief to kind of get people on board. Other times you might have to kind of dive into your most natural nature, be able to explain just a little bit why you believe in that thing, why that's the thing that we're valuing, right? So that others can understand and digest what it is they're supposed to be doing. Diving into tips and tricks for relationships. Now, I touched on this in my other two videos. I went a little bit more in depth there, so make sure you're watching the other videos. But finding people that share your core values is really critical to having strong and lasting relationships for you. On the flip side, to avoid being stuck in your ways or kind of having this narrow view of the world and of life, I do encourage you to bring around people who have different world views from you, have different values, so that you can work to understand why and kind of build a more robust relationship with others, because you're able to describe and deeply understand your own personal values as well as theirs. Outside of this, when it comes to relationships, one of the ways that you can help to maximize your belief strength would be to actually find someone who has more of a forward thinking strength. So that could be like futuristic or strategic, or maybe even like ideation, who can really help energize you by helping you see how your values can help you grow and how your values are going to drive you forward toward this particular goal. Sometimes that's something that might be challenging for you, right? Like, you kind of have this belief in the direction that you're going, but maybe it's not as clear like what that actually looks like long term. So making sure to pair up with people that have different strengths than you to help you strategize, help you figure out how to channel that belief into action, right? All of those things can be really helpful when it comes to really productive relationships, particularly in the work environment, but also in life. So when I was thinking about goal setting for belief, the first thought that popped in my head was it's probably not hard for you to set goals. And it might not be hard for you to meet goals either. But I do imagine that if you're in a work environment or even in home life relationships, etc., if you are given a task or given a goal, feel aligned to anything, doesn't feel like it's moving you toward anything purposeful, it could be really easy for you to lose steam. So one thing that I would encourage you to do, especially in an environment where you're not the one developing the goals, but kind of goals are being given to you that you must achieve, likely a work environment, is to spend some time creating connections between the goals that you've been handed and either the mission, vision, values of the organization, your own personal vision, values, purpose, etc., just so that you can really focus on that energizing piece of like, okay, I know how this goal that's been passed down to me gets us toward our mission, towards our vision, towards our values. I know how it promotes our purpose. And it can be a really like mundane task, right? It can be a mundane task where most people would look at it and be like, this is just accounting, right? Or this is just like sending in receipts, doing expense reports, right? But you have the capability of taking something like an expense report and connecting it to the mission, vision, values of the organization. So do that, especially on things that you find yourself losing steam on, losing energy on, dreading, right? How can you take a step back and say, okay, how does this particular task align to the overall goal that we have, align to the vision and values of the organization, et cetera, et cetera. And then just a small caveat, if you do work for yourself, I would just say doing the same thing and sitting down and saying like, how do these small tasks move me closer to my bigger purpose, move me closer to my goal within my organization, the vision, the values? Is it in alignment with my values? And if not, why am I doing it? And that can hopefully help give you the energy that you need to do some of the tasks that as a business owner, we all have to do and are not always super fun. So really harness that belief to kind of give yourself the energy you need to get things done. When it comes to goal setting, one of the blind spots to keep an eye out for is how you handle times where your goals or the path to your goals require flexibility. If you tend to feel super overwhelmed when you have to adjust your path to a specific goal or adjust the expected outcome surrounding a goal, this could be a really great opportunity to find partners that complement your strengths. While these videos talk about how to maximize your strengths, I always like to remind people that we don't live in a world where you have to be good at everything. And when you try to be good at everything, you're likely good at nothing. So focus on leaning into your strengths. And when you find areas of overwhelm or areas where you feel stuck, this is a really great opportunity for you to find someone who has complementary strengths to help you move forward. So this could look like partnering with someone who has high ideation or high strategic, who can really help you think about what the new goal is or help you design a new path so that you can get back to believing, right? You can get back to that innate knowing that you have instead of feeling so stuck, trying to be super flexible and trying to like let things happen. It's also a great place for someone with adaptability high in their strengths. If you watch the adaptability videos the other day, they could be really helpful in creating sort of this fluid environment for you where you can learn to have flexibility and learn to shift as needed without abandoning yourself and who you are. Shameless plug. This would also be a great time to hire a coach. When it comes to goal setting for you, if you need help with flexibility, you need help with determining, what to do, when goals don't feel energizing and aligned to you, great opportunity to ask for some help. Hi, I'm right here. All right, that's all I've got for tips and tricks today. If something else pops up for you where you're like, ooh, I think this relates to belief, send it my way. If you have questions that I didn't answer, send me an email with those questions. I would love to answer them. And again, if you want to do a more nuanced deep dive into your own top 10 strengths, click the button at the bottom of the email and schedule your strength session. I would love nothing more than to go through your strengths with you. All right, I will see you back here tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching these videos and for learning a little bit more about belief.